Get those reps in. Find your voice. You don't want to be discovering your voice while you're paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month. For those of you wanting to get out here in these internet streets and do business on social media and on the internet, I want to give you 5 tips to prepare you for what it looks like. So before you create your product, before you create your service, before you create your offer, if you are transitioning into these internet streets, there are 5 things that need to be on your radar that you can prep yourself before you start shelling out any real money. Because let me tell you, once you pull the trigger and you start going, the costs add up tremendously, be it from just the standard subscriptions and softwares to when you're having to outsource to graphic designers, editors, strategists, etc. So let's start with tip number 1. Anytime you're going into business, whether it be a traditional business or an internet business, step 1, get a good handle on business finance. What does that mean? Well, make sure that your organization is organized the way you want it to be. Make sure that you understand the tax and legal implications of stuff. Definitely start treating your business as a business from day 1. Separate everything. Do not commingle. Keep great records. Then, as you are learning more about your business operations, make sure you understand the fixed costs and the variable costs. At that point, you will understand what it will cost when your operations are going, when you don't even make $1. So then you can derive your profit plan, how many units you have to sell, for example, to cover those fixed costs to make sure that you're at a break-even point. If you take the time to do this work before you even start the business, before you get the logo, before you get the LLC, before you get the trademark, before you buy the domain name, I promise you that when you engage in business activity, having got a handle on all of these things, it will give you incredible confidence and it will make everything so much easier to the point where you will be able to walk into your creative genius. Tip number 2, get used to being on camera. For me, it's been incredibly difficult. I've been at it for 2 years and I still struggle. I wish that I had done it sooner. I wish that I had committed to it sooner. I wish that I had just started showing up either on stories or on lives and just start talking. Full disclosure, as I am creating this podcast episode right now, I am now number 12 in. So I've recorded 12 episodes. And after hearing those first 12, I've definitely been able to course correct. But guess what? I did those 12 on my dime. So I pulled the trigger and brought in this incredible team, and I had no practice. I hadn't done any reps, and I could have done that for free on my own. I could have rehearsed. I could have studied other podcasters or other YouTube videos and gotten a feel and just gotten in front of the camera, nothing sophisticated, nothing fancy, and just practiced. But because I didn't do that, upon hiring a podcast team, now the clock is ticking and the money is being spent. And I was completely unprepared. So that is one of my largest regrets, that I delayed getting on camera. I should have gotten on fearlessly and worked out the kinks before I brought on a team for professional recording and distribution. Number 3. So obviously you know your area of genius and you are passionate about your service or your product or your offer. But have you outlined the customer journey, like on a whiteboard? from beginning to end. Once the deal is closed, once you've onboarded the customer, all of the back end, have you done that due diligence? Do you know the step 1, 2, and 3 once you actually get the customer? And then do you have a plan to engage, retain, upsell, downsell, all that good stuff? Plan that ahead of time. Run out several scenarios. It will definitely help you with your content creation if you do so. And again, when you get into formal engagements, whether it be with a coach or a mastermind, to fine tune all of those things, you won't be coming in green. You will already have a foundation laid. And though granted, maybe you haven't executed upon that foundation, but you will already have thought about it. Number 4, start to write your email sequences. Well, after you've outlined your storyboard, imagine what are the emails that you are going to be sending to these clients, to your cold email list, to your warm email list. I have had too many friends and clients who have pulled the trigger on hiring marketing agencies and specifically deploying Facebook and TikTok ads and haven't even started to write the copy for their email sequences. So again, they've already hired on a sophisticated agency, but haven't thought about any of the copy. They're completely relying on this agency to do that for them. And I've been a part of many clients' journeys in this regard, and it doesn't end well. Because even though these marketing agencies are phenomenal with their deliverables, they can't necessarily speak for you. I myself, when I first decided that I wanted to open up a consulting firm, become a thought leader, and one day create offers to have an online business, I sought out copywriters and email strategists, to be perfectly honest. And at the end of the day, the deliverables were left to me. So you can definitely hire people that can embellish and do a razzle dazzle and zhuzh up what you have created, but you still have to create it. And those of you who have opted not to write in your own words, from your own experience, from your heart as the face of the organization, I've noticed that the conversion isn't as great because it comes off inauthentic. So again, this is something that you can familiarize yourself with before you even pull the trigger on bringing on team members and additional help. Number 5, create free educational and entertaining content around your area of genius. This goes back to just showing up on social media, doing the lives, creating the reels, creating the shorts, or creating the long. These are things that you can do very inexpensively. Again, get those reps in. Find your voice. You don't want to be discovering your voice while you're paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month. You want to know how I know this? Because I've done it. So a year ago, I knew that I had to start showing up and creating YouTube longs and shorts. So I aligned myself with a great editor and I had to shoot my own content. So I had to come up with my own concepts. I had to shoot my own content. And of course, there's all these strategies, show up on TikTok 3 times a day, do this on YouTube on Tuesdays and Thursdays, release this on Instagram. There are all types of tips and tricks on how to show up and gain more followers and gain more engagement. And all of that's well and good as long as you can create. And I know I'm not just speaking for myself because I have many talented and amazing and brilliant friends who have incredible offers, products, and services. And they don't want to get online the same that I didn't used to want to get online. It's very intimidating and it only gets less scary through practice. So again, do you want to practice on your dime or do you just want to get out and do it and get all the kinks out? That's what I recommend because this might not be for you, or it may take you a while to get into a groove and get into a rhythm. Everybody is different. You don't know until you try it. But if you want to compete in this space, you are going to have to show up online. You are going to have to network. You are going to have to do public speaking. You are going to have to do lives. You are going to have to host in membership sites, and you are going to have to film webinars. And it's a lot harder than it looks. You have to become great at storytelling. You have to understand the hero's journey. You have to communicate. And to be an expert in this area, like anything, it's 10,000 hours. So if you even have an inkling that this is something that you want to do, whether you're in real estate, whether you are in any profession, but you know for a fact that you want to create a social media presence, because remember, this is your resume. Moving forward, this is how we are going to be hiring. This is how we are going to be deciding on who it is we work with. Social proof. So I highly encourage you to not delay this. And the only way you can get good at it, the only way you can get comfortable with it is by showing up for yourself, putting in the reps, putting in the practice. I'm going to tell you a quick story on the last mastermind / class. It was a 10-week course that I took to level up my accounting firm. I had done my due diligence on the course curriculum. I knew 100% that by participating in this course, I would get the desired outcome because it really was heavy, a lot of meat and potatoes. And there was an accountability group for the lead magnet creations, for the email sequence creations, okay, for the funnels, for the tips and tricks for Facebook ads. But let me tell you what happened. You sign up, it's 10 weeks, and it is off to the races. There was a ton of theory. There was about 40 hours of video that I had to watch. But on top of the 40 hours, it was the creation. So when I tell you that I wish I had laid a semi-foundation prior to the 5 tips that I shared with you, I would have really been able to execute on the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6 that this course gave me. So that's really the premise of this episode today, is to get acquainted with the 5 tips, start to get a level of comfortability, start to lay a foundation, have a basic understanding of the fundamentals, and get comfortable. Because once you get into these courses with these gurus and these masterminds, you want to take full advantage and you want to be able to enjoy and be able to participate in the activities. So bang out the theory and then start the execution so they can in fact give you the valuable feedback you need to tweak. But if you come in completely green, you will not have enough time or enough bandwidth to get the full value of the program because you're going to be spending so much time doing the work on yourself as opposed to be able to show up and do the work on the actual deliverables to move the needle forward. So my advice to you is to take these 5 tips, prep for 3 to 6 months. See if you like it. See if you will show up for yourself. Take an inventory as to the progress you make from day 1 to day 90. Be honest with yourself. Be proud of yourself for challenging yourself and taking on something new and showing up in a different way. And then once you have a decent handle, start to throw some money behind it. Start to go out and build your team to become more professional for your official distribution. But while you're on this journey, take your audience with you. Remember, everybody loves a success story. Everybody loves a turnaround. So don't be afraid to showcase this. Don't be afraid to not be an expert. Don't allow imposter syndrome to creep in, because we have all been there. All of us have had a day 1. And for many of us, it wasn't that long ago. So when you show up unapologetically with all of your heart and soul, wanting to master your new endeavor, your new dream, trust me when I tell you, people will rally behind you. People will support you.